a series of videos we are making to teach you Buddhism, especially for the children and also the beginners who want to study Buddhism in a simple English. So we have been doing 4 videos so far, and I have noticed that I missed some of the important information in those videos, and give you an update on those missed information on those previous videos. So with that, let us begin the video with the thing that I missed in the previous videos one by one. The first thing, if you remember, I told you that when the Prince Siddhartha was born, after 7 days his mother passed away. So it was a sad story and everyone was sad. So the father, King Suddhodana, had to let the Prajapati Gautami, which is Prince Siddhartha's mother's sister, younger sister, to let into the royal family and be the mother for the newborn baby, Prince Siddhartha. So I said she had to take care of the Prince Siddhartha, even though she already had another child, which she had to give it to the nurses to take care. Yes, and this was Prince Siddhartha's sister in the relationship, like when he was born, that she was born and she was named Nanda. So later in the future videos, when we talk about his life story and other things, you might learn that about her again. And later, when she was the adopted mother, the mother who took care of the baby, she gave a birth to another child that he was named Nanda. So this, if you spell, it's the same name, but he was his brother. So 2 children, 2 siblings for him, as the brother and the sister. So that was one of the missed information that I find it important and to teach you, and that you had to remember. The next thing I missed was about his teacher. Actually, I think I said that he was a very good student and he learned all that the necessary things that a future king should learn. But I think we have to explain a little bit more on that. And in fact, that his father knew that this is the time for him to study, and he was at the age that he should study, and he invited a tutor, or you can say teacher, to come to the royal palace, and the king gave him all the the facilities and a place for him to teach the children, including the Prince Siddhartha, prepare the place. That his name was Sarvamitra. Sarvamitra was his teacher, and some say Vishwamitra. There are 2 names. So he was the tutor, and it said there are so many stories, about his the time that he spent as a student, and his teacher even create new alphabet for him to study, and that was later became the Brahmin letters. So many things we learn. Anyway, that most important thing as a prince, he should learn the most important thing things that as a prince the future king should learn. One thing is the law of the country, and the other things like martial art, how to protect you from enemies, and how to fight a war, and all these things, all the things that a future king should know. That's what we call the education, that all the education that he gave, he got from the teacher, the Vishwamitra or the Sarvamitra. Well, the next thing I missed in the previous videos was about his friends. He had few friends, not so many, but the friends at the same age with him. One was his, the father's driver, in today's term, the son. His name was Channa, and later in future he will be the person who will be his driver in today's term. And at that time, no cars, so we call it the horse cart, right? Yeah. So the charioteer, the person who ride the horses, while the prince sitting behind in the cart. So that was Channa, one of his friends, and they all in the same age, So the other one was his one of a minister's son, Kaludai, and also this person, the Devadatta, also was his friend. But Devadatta, you will learn about him in future in many stories. Devadatta was his close relative, and but the thing is, he will be the rival to the Buddha. When he became the Buddha, he did so many things. He did really harm to the Buddha in many ways. You will learn about him, but he also grew up with him as a childhood friend. But and also he started to show his characteristic that he is also growing up to be a person with a lot of ill will and negative skills. So you have to remember that. In fact, that later when he became the Buddha, Devadatta became his rival. So that is one of the other important information I missed in the previous video. So I wanted to point it out, and that's about it. So move on to the next one. I told you that his father, knowing that the wise man, the Kondanya, predicted that the Prince Siddhartha will be the Buddha or a religious teacher, is a leader, not the king, that universal monarch that his father King Suddhodana wanted him to be. So he tried, the father tried everything with that in mind. He tried everything possible to keep him attached with the worldly pleasures. So he built 3 palaces. I just mentioned that, but I think you need to know a little bit more about that. I think it's important to know about this, the palaces that he built for him. At that time in India, the weather pattern, like the summer, the winter, and the rainy season, 3 seasons was extreme. It can be very extreme. Like the winter, it can be very cold. The summer can be very hot. The rainy season can be always like flooding and all that. So not to feel any discomfort in the palace, the King Suddhodana built these 3 palaces for him. It says the palace that he built for the winter was named Ramya. It was 9-story building with like since it's the winter, the building for the winter, even the painting he hanged was like the fire and the warm things, the warm colors. With the house was and the palace was painted with the warm colors and all the surroundings, with a high technology, at the time available at the time. It was 9-story building. You can imagine how luxurious his life could have been, So the building or the palace he built for the summer was Suramya, also 7-story building. I think 5-story building. Yeah, it was 5-story building, and with all the the colors and everything choose carefully to match the season, and it was very luxurious as well. And the other one was the palace he built for the rainy season, with such a surrounding. That was Suba. The name of the building, the palace was Suba, and that was 7-story building. So I think it's kind of interesting, and I believe that it's good to know. That's one of the information I missed in the previous videos. Let's move on to the next one. In fact, I talk about it. The 4 sites that made a big impact on his in mind, and that he wanted to leave the palace and start an ascetic life to find out the true meaning of life. So I think I need to talk a little bit more about that. It's important. It's like the turning point, right? So it's a very important thing. Changes a time of his life. As he learned, we need to talk a little bit more about that. So try to understand this the situation and what made his mind to leave the palace. He grew up with all the luxuries, everything he needs he was given, whatever he asked for he could have it, but he knew, this disturbing thought came to his mind after seeing these 4 sites, and he questioned why I cannot control these 3 things in life. Remember, the first thing he saw was an old person who has changed from his youth to be and kind of person that he cannot move properly, walk properly, talk properly, and the old age, how the old age has changed his comfortable life, that we at one point think, oh, this is life is so beautiful, and life is so full of joy, because when you are young you think everything is perfect, you can move, you can enjoy the world, worldly pleasures. But when you become an old person, it's something that there are so many things that you cannot do, and it's a difficult time to pass. It's not a good experience. So he knew that this why we cannot control it, why we cannot change it. Being an old person, we all have to face it. So that's the first thing. And the second day, the second sight was a sick person. He saw that sick person terribly ill and suffering from the sickness. It's even hard to see. It's difficult to see that how much suffering that person is going through, and you try to put you into that situation. If you got that sickness, if you are that person, how difficult that would be, and can you bear it? And this kind of thought, they disturb him, because he grew up in the palace with all the luxuries, and he has nothing to complain about that. But when you become a sick person, you don't have a choice. So that's the question he had. That's what made his mind moved, and he want to leave the palace and start this ascetic life. And the third thing, he saw a dead person. He asked his friend, the Channa, remember the Channa, his childhood friend. Now he is the charioteer, or in today's term, the driver. He asked him, who is that? And he said it's a dead person. That's how he got all this, got to know about them. And knowing that he is a dead person is something really disturbing. We all have to die. Prince Siddhartha, I had born into a royal family with all the luxuries, but when it comes to the death, there's no choice. In fact, these three things, being sick and old age, and also dying, these three things in our life we all have to face, and we don't have a choice. We cannot change it. It's not, we are not in control. So that's the problem. So the answer that he was looking for was in that spiritual journey. He knew that. The fourth thing that he saw was that the monk, the ascetic, he saw that. Then in the Channa, his friend said, "Oh, that person also have the question you have," and that's why he started this ascetic life, to find the answer for all these things in life. So now he has a choice, and he know the path that to find the true meaning of life. That's how he got the idea and wanted to become an ascetic, start the spiritual journey. Or in other terms, they said truth seeker, seeker of the truth. There are so many people in even today, they are walking in that path to find the true meaning of life. So that's how he left the palace and started the spiritual journey. So with that, I'm going to conclude this video today, and this is again the update video for the previous videos. And we here in today's video we talk some of the important information that we noticed that we missed in the previous videos. So in the next videos we will learn more about his journey after leaving the palace, how he became the Buddha. So with that, I'm going to conclude the video today, and see you in the next video. May you all be well, happy and peaceful.